Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to our Easter broadcast. Yay, Toki TV. Happy Easter, everyone. Hi, Alejandro. Hey,
Hey,
Howard,
how are
Deb,
you? Hi,
Samuel.
how are you?
Hello.
Thank you all for joining us today. We know it's Easter. I don't know if you're eating or hunting eggs or hiding eggs, but we wish you a blessed Easter, and we just want to thank you for joining us today. We'll go ahead and get started today, as we always do, in prayer. We are here gathering for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut each and every week, starting our day with prayer. Samuel, we would like to turn it over to you to start us off, please.
Shanabish. Chiatamo. Yatapiko aya hideoja. Jakiete wanti halipik latiola. Greetings. Hope everyone is doing good on this beautiful day. We are gathered here to ask for strength from our highest power, from our Creator. We are here to ask for guidance and more blessings that we enjoy. It is wonderful that we can all come together and share our hope. It is wonderful we can all come together and ease our worries that we have. And it's also a very, very wonderful day to know that our brothers and sisters of their way of worshiping, that today is their special day, the resurrection day. And no matter how many religions there are upon this earth, I've always been taught that we are all children of one Creator, and that we all have to see each other and respect each other as we see flowers of different colors. I'm here in South Florida. I'm here out in the Everglades. It's 8 p.m. right now. It's pretty rough outside right now. I hear the rain dropping on the roof. There's thunder outside. It's very wonderful. And where you are, it's wonderful too that we can reach out and be with each other in this manner. Wherever you are, your home, your place, it is wonderful. The part of planet that you are on is a wonderful place. After all, we are on one planet, one creation, and here we are asking for more blessings. Jackie Tutskaya, Pumahi Omachila, Wanti Chia Lipuk, Himaya, Wanti Waya, Pumbi Wanapaksha, Nawa, Atati, Mahan, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, Smunchiha Lipik, Ome, Putahok Shuska, Qwe'lhol'mechen. Oh, Creator, High Spirit, thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for bringing our hearts together that we pray. We pray for all living. We pray for all life. We pray for life that are struggling. We pray for life that is happening. We are praying for life surrounding in our communities. We are praying for the life that is happening within our countries. We ask that you continue your blessings, O Great Spirit. We ask that you continue your guidance. We ask that you bring us more love, more care, and more humbleness into our lives. And we are very thankful that you are merciful. We are very thankful that you forgive us. And we are very thankful that you bring us together with new hearts and our souls. And if you may, you can keep your eyes closed and join me with this prayer. Oh, thank you, Creator. Thank you. Thank you, our highest spirit. We enjoy your love. We enjoy you reaching out to us today. We enjoy you bringing us together. We enjoy your hopefulness in us that we may carry your prayers, that we may carry our promises that we have for you. And we will connect with your promise. And we pray for Tokite. This is a tremendous concern of ours, O Creator. And when we see changes, we see your blessings, we see your will through our brothers and sisters on this planet. We are so very happy. Well, thank you, Creator. Modo Shonabish. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. That was a beautiful opening for our Easter. I was about to say our Easter service. We do joke about that, but kind of it is. We gather every Sunday together in prayer, and thank you for that opening. We've got a lot going on. I know there's a lot of folks that want a whole lot of answers, and we want them now, and we're not going to be happy till we get our answers. But there's a lot of work going on, and when I say work, I mean spiritual work. There's, people are praying every day in their homes. People are writing letters. All of that is spiritual work. And I just want to give you guys a quick update here. Peggy Oki is someone who's doing a lot of work for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. And I just want to give you guys an update here from Peggy about the art campaign.
Hello, everyone. Peggy Oki here of the Origami Whales Project. Haishka to all for everything that we're doing together and in our own ways for Tokite Lolita Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's return home very soon. And I'd like to thank you for inviting me to be on the Toki TV show again, and much gratitude for everybody participating in our art letters campaign, sending us letters and artwork, and it's just very, very beautiful and encouraging and touching, and everything that everybody does makes a difference. And so I'd like to share that in the 6 weeks since we started, we received over 1,400 letters. Of that, 1,323 letters have already been sent off in 3 different batches, along with a cover letter that I write. And they've all been received at the offices of the Dolphin Company, addressed to Eduardo Albor, the CEO of the Dolphin Company. I'd like to share some images. And so here we go. This is one that I may have shown already, but it is a favorite because I love that they put this young artist put together Tokite with Ocean Sun, her mother, and the vision that we all hold for their reunion to be very soon. This is from a friend of mine who's a school teacher in New Zealand, and she sent 19 images to me all the way from New Zealand. This is a very recent piece of art that was received from Mexico City and written in Spanish, which is the primary language of Eduardo Albor. And I'd like to share that in the Google Docs, along with background, talking points, resources. There's also a Google Translate link that I included, so that if anybody wishes to translate your letter into Spanish for Eduardo Albor, that it's there, all in the Google Docs. This is also a very recent piece received from the UK. Artist Rona McNichol just put so much love into this message. And I think that we all know that Tokite Lolita Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut feels this love as we are putting all this beautiful energy together for her. And so, yeah, Haishka, many thanks. And this is also another recent piece from Scotland. Ms. Perry of the Sunnyside Primary School sent about 100 letters, and And of course, encouraging adults to write your messages for Tokite Lolita Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. All the information is in Google Docs. I have it on the top button of my link tree in case by chance you don't have that link in through our memes, but they're in every one of our announcements on Facebook. And then if not available on Facebook, then you can also go to the link tree that I have, and it's the top button of my link tree. So thank you very much, everybody. And again, much gratitude, Haishka. Please continue to reach out to school teachers and help to share our posts calling for participation, and wishing you all a very happy Easter Sunday.
Awesome. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you so much. Again, that's just one of the many things that people are doing each and every day for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. Thank you very much, Peggy. Again, if you're just joining us, this is Toki TV. This is our Easter broadcast. Happy Easter to everyone. Reminding everyone to put in the comments where you're watching from. I always love going back and seeing where you guys are all at. Speaking of a lot of work being done, Alejandro, what you been up to? I know you've been up to stuff.
How is everybody? Happy Easter to all people who loves Lolita. Yeah, a few days ago I had an interview for the TV channel, Colombian TV channel, who works in USA. The reporter asked me about what's going on with Lolita, the future. And I was focused on her health, her plan for her rehabilitation. We are waiting for the final report from the independent vet. And I told everyone that Lolita will make it. She's a warrior. She's an angel. She's a big spirit. She looks very, very healthy. I encourage everyone to keep praying for her, keep donating to Love Me Nation. We have a GoFund over there. Every cent go to Tokite Lolita Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. So we will not stop until finally she is going home. And I feel deeply into my heart we will achieve this goal. Lolita finally will go back home. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Alejandro. You're such an inspiration to so many people. I love every time Alejandro talks, the comments just start popping up because everybody just loves Alejandro. We do love you, Alejandro. Thank you for everything you're doing. And like he said, keep the donations coming. We haven't really said that too much on the last couple of shows, but yes, please, the GoFundMe is still there. If you go to sacredsea.org, on the homepage, there is the GoFundMe, where 100% of those proceeds are going to the plan to bring Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut back home. So thank you, Alejandro, for mentioning that. And thank you to Sacred Lands Conservancy, sacredsea.org, for leading this, for really being our guides on bringing her home, which we will bring her home. So thank you very much. Someone else who's doing a whole lot of work, who has been doing a whole lot of work and has some cool stuff coming up. Howard, what you got going on?
Yeah, there's some interesting things coming up. Thanks, Annette. One is going to be a radio podcast, and I don't know the extent of it. We can put the link up so that people can join in. thegatheringradio.podbean.com. And that'll be the 19th, Tuesday the 19th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And it's with a very friendly, whale-loving host, Stephanie Langer, and she has talked to me a few times in the past. And so this will be a chance to just kind of give her an update and say a lot of the things that Alejandro was saying, because I believe more and more strongly that she knows that there is so much love and passion and prayer for her right now, and that she is holding on. And the reports that we're hearing are more encouraging all the time about her spirit, her health, her activity level, that she she seems like a teenager, that she just seems to be in such good shape and good spirits, and that's always real good to see. And we also did get an eyewitness report from yesterday that she is swimming and looking good. So I mean, no change in her location, and by all indications, she's very healthy. We're looking forward to this medical exam, yet to be announced, but that I think she will pass with flying colors and get a very clean bill of health and be ready for the next step to move home, I believe, very strongly. So that's on the crawler just below us, so you can see how to tune in, 7 p.m. Pacific. And another event to bring up is a kind of a local tribute. It's the way that we honor the gray whales who come in to these waters around Whidbey Island. And it's really quite an astounding thing that there is this small population. It's actually been growing a little bit in the past couple of years, up to, as I understand, up to about 20 gray whales. But some of them have been coming around for at least 22 years. In fact, there's a pair that were named Earhart and Shackleton because we considered them explorers, adventurers. And they are a male and female, and they have been coming in together every year for 22 years and feeding along the mud flats. They've found a very bountiful buffet table here of shrimp. They love those shrimp and other little invertebrates. And it's a perfect location. I love the ecology of it because if you sort of need to see a map to see how this works, but it's a kind of an inland sea, and it's only 5 or 10 miles wide over to the mainland, over to America, as we say. But it's open on both ends, the north and the south, and they're about 60 or 70 miles apart. So when the tides come in, they lift the water because they come in from both sides. And then it drains and then lifts and drains, but it doesn't flow. There aren't strong currents like almost everywhere else in the Salish Sea as the tides go up and down. So the water that comes in, and there are 3 big rivers that pour water, organic water, sediments that come in from the Cascade Mountains. Every time it rains, it loosens more of that mud with all kinds of good organic material in it. And that all comes into those waters, and it just drifts down and settles into these mud flats that may be 3, 4, 10 feet deep. And the gray whales come in at high tide, and they can come into water that's only as deep as they are thick, basically 6 or so feet deep sometimes. And they roll on their sides, and they blow out these pits from this loose mud, kind of silty organic sediment, and that contains shrimp. It's perfect habitat for shrimp. So they have found a sort of a magic source for great food, and they just keep coming back every year, the same exact whale. So we're going to have our 17th annual Welcome the Whales parade and ceremonies. We do a prayer and some music and a lecture, a talk, a nice little discussion. And this is from a retired NOAA scientist about the effects of climate change on gray whale population, on their movements and their health. So it's going to be a full day of all kinds of great fun. There's a costume party coming up before the event, and this is going to be on the 23rd of April that we'll have this parade. And it's a funny little parade. It's only a couple of blocks, and no loud music, but there are some drummers in there. So it's a lot of fun. And then the next day, on Sunday, the 24th, we're going to do a gray whale watch. And I'll go out and see some of these whales, meet them personally with a naturalist or two or 3 or 10 on board to circulate and tell everybody who each individual whale is and what we know about them and how they feed and all this great natural history. So this is, it's local. It's right here on Whidbey Island on the south end of Whidbey in Langley, where we have our whale center. We have a sort of storefront that has a display of all about orcas and all about gray whales and humpback whales and other things about whales, and also a gift shop because admission is free. So the gift shop supports the whale center. And all of that will take place there. But anybody, of course, is welcome. You can come in from anywhere. Anybody who's seeing this from Seattle, it's a quick hop on a ferry to come over. And so all are welcome. It's a family day. A lot of kids come in and dress up, and they're, little 4-year-olds holding their moms or their dad's hands in the parade. It's a lot of fun. So everyone is welcome. April 23rd, Langley, Washington. Come on.
Thanks, Howard. Are we gonna get to so next Sunday, are we gonna get to see some video maybe from the parade on Saturday? Will you be with us next Sunday? Or are you gonna be watching whales? And can we watch with you?
I think I'm gonna be out on that boat. But I don't know. Maybe I can do a Facebook Live, that's always possible. That would be fun.
I will happily send you the link, and if we can see some whales live on our show, that would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun.
That would. Okay, keep that in mind.
Awesome. That sounds good. There was something else I wanted to ask about that, but I think that might be the majority of it. But I definitely want to see pictures and videos, and I'm sure we'll see it on the site. And just so all of you at home know, I will share whatever I get my hands on with you guys. So you can check it out too. I wish I could be there with you, Howard. That sounds fun.
Good.
That sounds fun. Again, if you're just joining us, Toki TV, Easter Sunday broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Alejandro's there in Miami. Alejandro is always with us. Samuel Tommy opened us up with a beautiful prayer. If you're just joining us, I do. When this is over, I strongly encourage you to go back and watch the replay because you don't want to miss that blessing. I truly felt blessed just by listening, Samuel. So thank you for always joining us and being willing to join and open us up like that. We have an interview with, you guys are probably all looking for Freddie, but he'll be with us in just a minute interviewing Jewell James. But before we get to that, because we are going to close with that interview, Howard, is there any encouraging words, anything you want to say to everyone at home who's gathering with us every single week for Toki?
Only that we're on the right track. We're doing the right things, and I think she knows it, and I think it's coming together. There are very predictable obstacles. A lot of discussions have to be going on to get all the clearances, all the permits, all the preparations. But all the players are in place and working on the team, and I think it's happening, and I am confident, and I'm hearing from people that Toki is responding. She's feeling it. She is with us. She's on the team. She's helping it happen, and I think we're definitely doing the right thing. Just keep doing it. Keep pouring those letters and those thoughts and prayers, and we'll update people with whatever news there is.
Awesome. Thank you, Howard. And I want to thank everyone again for just really shifting with us how we are advocating for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut and really holding her up. We've had that agreement that we're going to hold her up in this time with prayer, with love. We're gathering in faith, in prayer and education, because that is she's gonna feel she's gonna feel the love. She's gonna feel whatever we put out, whatever energy we put out that has to do with her. She is going to feel that. So, really being able to be that funnel, if you will, to transform any negative energy that people may have right now, any frustration. We really want to transmute that into positive love for her. And so I thank this team very much for doing that together each and every week, and all of you at home for doing that as well. Alejandro, do you have any words you'd like to leave people with before we turn the show over to Freddie and Jewell? Hope you're on mute.
I agree 100% with what Howard was said before. Yeah, Tokita can feel our energy, and she looks very healthy. So I encourage everyone to keep going forward in action, send letters, emails, and keep praying for her, because she can feel our love. She can feel our positive energy, no negative energy. We need people to be very positive. She knows what's going on. So keep going, because she never gave up, and we will never give up, because she knows we are working together for bringing her back home.
Awesome. Thank you, Alejandro. And yes, she's not giving up, so neither are we. We won't. One more quick thing that is coming up I want to mention before we turn the show over to Freddie and Jewell is the Snake River to Salish Sea Spirit of the Waters Totem Pole Journey. Just to remind people, that starts on May the 3rd there in Bellingham. I have the schedule up. I kind of have to squint to see it, but May 3rd in Bellingham, the following day in Eugene, and then in the University of Oregon from May 5th through May 9th. And then they'll be at the Chinook Nation in Astoria, Oregon, May 9th in the evening. Portland, May 10th. Cedar Falls, May 11th. My eyes really are just not working with me right now. I have that so small. But again, May 3rd through 20th, this is on the Orca Network Lolita page, the schedule. I will say, too, if you know you're going to be there at any of those events, please shoot me a messenger or an email or a comment on here. I'd love to see who's going to be participating, and we can get you to take some photos for us. That would be awesome. So you can be part of the show as well. That would be awesome. Let's go ahead and turn this over to Freddie and Jewell James. Again, thank you everyone for joining. Happy Easter. We're going to turn the show over to them now.
Se-Sealth, Siam, Siaya. It's always good to hear your stories of that you pass on. We come from an oral tradition, and just thinking of all our elder ancestors that gone before us, and we're trying to share with the world about the Qwe'lhol'mechen, the people that live under the water. As a Sk'aliCh'elh elder, who are the Qwe'lhol'mechen people to you? The stories that you know.
Well, we're going to think about what the late Chief Se-Sealth had told everybody. And, it goes back to our oral teachings and legends, myths, or folklore. It's part of our traditional culture. It's some of our song, dances, and ceremonies are tied in the celebration of knowledge, spiritual knowledge. And as a traditional people, we try to keep some of the knowledge that our ancestors had passed to the following generations alive. And we've been subjected to a lot of changes, forced changes. We've had our culture attacked. We had our traditions attacked. We had our ceremonies and songs attacked. We're supposed to become basically white Christian farmers, and that failed, that campaign, the Great Peace Policy, that was really stimulated by President U.S. Grant, failed to wipe out our Indianness. But we've been told that the killer whales were a people, but they were a giant people. And when smaller people and larger people interact playfully or socially, somebody can get injured. And that's kind of the story that was passed down, is that the larger people were found themselves injuring their little relatives. And rather than continue to do that, they went into the water and they transformed into the killer whales. But there are our relatives yet. And you know, if you look at the Pacific Northwest, and you'll hear stories about raven, bear, wolf, eagle, raven, owl, salmon, killer whale, and the list goes on, where they're able to transform from what we consider a human form, and consequently had relationships with us. You know, we're always been the pitiful people, the pitiful children. We're the last children of creation. Yeah, when the Great Spirit created all things were older than us. And so we're so pitiful and weak that the Great Spirit asked his older or her older brothers and sisters or children of creation to change into a final form, but to give us something. Because that's how weak and pitiful we were. We had to have a gift from our older siblings. So the tree, the bird, the bee, the fish, the whale, the salmon, you name it, left us food sources or feathers for pillows or blankets, from the mountain goat or from the cedar bark. Everything around us gave us a gift. And so there's a whole way of thinking, you know. And so we isolate just the whale story, and then it seems like, you know, well, that's kind of far-fetched. But it's a whole way of thinking about the world around you. All things have value. All things have meaning. All things have a relationship with us. And you don't wake up in the morning and say, gee, I have 5 brothers too many. I think I'll club a couple on the head, get rid of them, you know, because I have just too many, you know. But if you're raised with the understanding that all things had a place, all things deserve respect, and then you're less likely to take too much or to do permanent damage or injury. You know, and there's a big debate as to whether or not this is true or not. Oh yeah, they'll say, oh yeah, you're just arguing the old myth of the noble Native American. You know, but it's an outside people looking at us in a superficial way, a shallow way. First of all, they don't believe we can be deep thinkers. They don't believe we have a deep culture. They don't really believe that we have anything nearing what they consider the sacred. And so they come in, you know, as they say, the doubting Thomas, you know, and they come in with their doubts and their preconceived notions of our inferiority. And so they've don't give us the credit for having understood the world according to what our ancestors taught us, in a way that would say all things are sacred, all things deserve to be respected. You know, so that's what the relationship of the whale. It's another story. It's another legend, or it's another real thing that is there to remind us that that's our relative. Have respect. You know, and some people have said, well, how come you guys didn't do something earlier, like when it happened? Because we've been battling for 200 years to survive attacks from every direction. Every part of our personality as a people was attacked. And when we weren't being attacked socially, legally, politically, culturally, spiritually, the diseases were wiping us out. 80-90% of the people disappearing almost in 1 week, for example. We'd start over as a society. So just to have legends, stories, and myths, folklore, teachings, just to have something to pass down is actually a phenomenon. You know, we still have something, and we're going to hang on to it, and we're going to continue with our belief. We all know that the whale is down there crying, and she has her song, and she has a family song, just like we do as a people. We have our songs, and we believe in the power of those songs. Well, that whale has that belief too. That's why she sings that song when nobody's around. It's something real personal to her. It's keeping her alive, you know. And otherwise, she would have been like her peer that was in the pool with her. He banged his head against the cement wall until he died. He committed suicide rather than live like that in captivity. That tells you something. That non-native society, you know, they don't think of it as a suicide. You know, it's just a whale gone crazy. You know, they don't see it as a being that deserves respect. But we live in a world, you know, they say the Anthropocene is here. You know, our impact upon the world around us is leading to culturecide and our own genocide. We're all of us are participating in it by overindulging, demanding too much, more than the earth can provide. And so for anybody that will join in the campaign to bring the whale, it's a sign that you're aware that you have a responsibility to help restore some of the integrity that the Pacific Northwest naturally had when it was created. Our cultural ways, you know, we look for areas that have purity, privacy, isolation, continuity. Those type of values were tied to creation, you know, and it's getting harder and harder to find places that are not disturbed, you know. So I know they fear that if we bring the whale back, she may die, but she'd die with her mom and her family rather than alone over 3,000 miles away. And so she performed for 50 years, time to retire her. Well, they have no choice now. They didn't get their license. So it's time for all of us to work to bring her home. Bring our relative home.
Jewell, you know, the journey that Lolita is making, the work that we're doing is spiritual work. And you know, we're doing the best we can to help our relative come home. But what is that? What is your spiritual connection when you carve, when you give the poles, when we do this work, the spiritual work, because we're doing this in a good way, and all we're asking is for her to come home. But that spiritual power she has just powerful friends. You're one of Lolita's most powerful voices, and that's real important for all of our relatives.
Well, you know, back in 1995, 1996, a whale was beached itself at Lummi. And my late younger brother had hunted me down and asked me to go down there. And there were about 3 dozen people down there because the tide was going out. Time and tide was against the whale survival. And he had looked for me for like 2 or 3 hours. And I just happened to show up at the Fisherman's Cove. He was just giving up looking for me, and I showed up there. And so we got down there. And the reason why they're looking for me is they wanted an answer to the question as to whether or not we should even attempt to save that whale. The Coast Guard was flying over with a helicopter. The sheriffs and the state patrol were going up and down the road by the beach, and they're saying, "Stay away from the whale. Stay away from the whale. You will be prosecuted. This is a protected species. Stay away from the whale. You will be prosecuted." And so they wanted, I was an associate judge at the time, and they wanted to know whether or not we as a Lummi people have a right to try to save that whale. And so I didn't know I was being brought down there to answer that question. It was Johnny on the spot. And a relative that lived up in Alaska for a couple of decades had came home, and he was telling the people that in Alaska they would try to save this whale. What's wrong with my people? What are you afraid of? He goes, "I hear there's a judge here now. Where is he?" yeah, I don't know. If you guys see him, let me know. But I raised my hand and I said, "What's your question?" He said, "Well, you heard them. They're saying if we touch the whale, we'll be prosecuted. What is the law?" I said, "Well, you have white man law, federal. It says if you touch that whale, you'll be prosecuted. They got white man law, state and county, that says if you touch that whale, you'll be prosecuted. You got modern Lummi law that says if you touch that whale, you'll be prosecuted under federal law. But then you have traditional law that says that you have a duty to try to save that brother or sister. And if she dies or it dies or he dies on our beach, it's a gift to the Lummi people. But first, we have to try to save that whale." And so there was about 10 of us went out. But time and tide were against her. By the time I got there, the tide was way out. And we tried moving her, and we moved her about 10, 15 feet, got her to move. She was kicking, tried, but the pressure on her heart was too much. Her weight bore down. There was not enough water to float her weight, and it all crushed down. But as she was dying, she sang a song. And people that could hear the song were crying on the beach. It was her death song. Mm-hmm. And she left it with us. And after we're done, we had accepted the fact. We prayed over her that it was too late, but we tried our best. And now we just built a cage around her, floats and rope, so we could bring her to the beach when the tide, because she was quite a ways out in oyster bed when the tide went out. And then we went to the late Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's house, and we sang that song out. And was it spiritual? Well, people could hear the song, and they were crying. And when we went to sing the drum it out, the late Sk'aliCh'elh, we're in his meditation room. He goes, "Where's your drum, bro?" And I say, "I didn't even know I was going to be on the beach. I didn't know what was going on." I said, "I didn't go home to get a drum." I said, "We've been down there ever since this afternoon, so I don't have a drum." And we both looked up at the wall, and that drum jumped off the wall. That drum jumped off the nail. It fell down. It rolled 5 feet. It turned 90 degrees, and it rolled about 7 feet and laid down in front of me. God's truth. Qwe'lhol'mechen, my brother Doug, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, and I, we drummed that song out, and we've been singing it. We sang it in probably 2/3 of the states, and sang it all the way up through Canada, British Columbia, Winnipeg, and northern Alberta. We've been singing that whale song. And for me, when I'm carving these, I also have the dream of crossing the land of Sk'aliCh'elh, and about totem poles and 4 races, red, black, white, and yellow. Sometimes you'll see me carving salmon where there's a human being in it, and that's from a near-death experience, that I had when I was dying 40 years ago. So I consider myself lucky because I've had spiritual visions. I had near-death visions, and I see things in dreams, you know. And, we've got songs because we've dedicated ourselves to making these totem poles and doing these campaigns, you know. And we have an ancestor song that came when we did the Northern Alberta pole, you know. And it's a way of the spirit to say you're doing the right thing, you know. Last year we had the dream about David so happy spirit was not at rest because they unlawfully persecuted and prosecuted him for exercising these fishing rights on the Columbia River. You know, later on, I think the Cougars Den case proved that he was right all along when the Supreme Court ruled on the Cougars Den case that the Yakimas and the tribes of the Columbia River have greater rights that the state has always oppressed, suppressed, and it was in violation of their treaty rights. And so for me, I started carving totem art back when my first late child was a baby. I started studying because my younger brother was being trained by a lumber master carver. So I went on to start studying it during my first year of college. And the late Marvin Oliver wanted me to be his apprentice, but I said, well, no, I'm committed to law and politics and defending Indian country. But when I'm older, you know, when I'm ready to retire, I'll become a master artist by then. I'll never quit, I told him. I'll always study the art. And so it's been a long journey, you know, and all of a sudden I am 69 years old doing what I promised when I was 19. It's been 50 years, and of preparing, you know. And it's fast art, you know. I don't claim to be, other people call me master. I just say head carver. You know, you got some true masters like Shimshian, Tlingit, and Haida Nation, British Columbia, down throughout Seattle, you know, down Squaxin Island. Their art is just exquisite, just beautiful. They took the time, you know, in strict compliance with the art, you know, but they're all, you know, they know the stories and they know the myth. They know the reasons why these symbols are important to our people, and they perfected their art. You know, we do a lot of social, political work with our poles because we're battling to save the earth. And every totem pole journey is addressing a different part of the campaign to save the earth, at least send a message from the Northwest. You know, and I don't know, I don't think it's too late. I think we all still have the opportunity to be sensitive to the earth and the sacredness of it, you know, but we have to find that connection in our own way, you know. Now, I've heard the elders say, you know, you get up in the morning and you put your feet on the floor or on the earth. What's your first thing you do? You should reflect on the idea that something's going to die for you today. Something's going to die for you today so that you may go on and live your life. And you should be grateful. Stop and say a prayer. Something's dying for you. Be thankful. You know, and but we're insensitive. You know, we're so lost. It's hard to practice that way. You know, and a lot of times, a lot of people look at Native Americans and they have envy in their eyes when they hear them singing and dancing, enjoying their traditional ways. That really all people, red, black, white, and yellow, come from the earth. They all have the duty to remember you're related to the earth. Your whole body's made up from the earth, you know, and so without your mother, you're nothing, you know. So the thing is that we can't hear our mother's heartbeat, you know, and that's the rhythm. That's where the songs come from. You know, and when we're in the womb, that mother's heartbeat, kaboom, 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 was the first song you ever heard. And it's Mother Earth vibrates. Everything around us is singing. We just can't hear them. You know, I just pray that if we continue to work together, encourage each other, share knowledge, that would become enlightened enough to where we could hear that tree singing. Wouldn't that be something if all of a sudden you woke up and you could hear the grass singing a song? Not just the frogs, not just the bugs, but the grass itself, or the water. You know, I'm sure the world's musical. It's just that we're too insensitive. We lack the teachings and how to hear and how to feel. And so for me, carving, I think about those things, you know. But I think about my kids, my late kids, the most. I started that, studied the art for them. So keep it alive.
It's
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's getting me closer to reuniting with them.
It's Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. Always good to see you, brother.
Yep. Thank you.
It's